समस्या का समाधान तुरंत करवाएं, जिससे दिल्ली के लोगों को राहत मिल सके। दूसरा जो हमने निर्णय लिया है, कल हमारे मंत्री, हमारे सांसद, हमारे विधायक एलजी साहब से मिलने गए थे। एलजी साहब से जब मिलने गए, पहले भी मिलने गए थे, पहले जल मंत्री आतिशी जी और सौरभ भारद्वाज जी मिलने गए, कल दोबारा हमारे सारे लीडर मिलने गए। एलजी साहब एक ही बात कहते हैं, हरियाणा अपना पानी दे रहा है, हरियाणा अपना पानी दे रहा है, हरियाणा अपना पानी दे रहा है। सरकार के पास जो रिपोर्ट आ रही है, सरकार की रिपोर्ट कहती है वजीराबाद में नदी सूख गई, वजीराबाद वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट को पानी नहीं मिल रहा है, वजीराबाद में यमुना नदी सूख रही, वजीराबाद ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट को जितना पानी चाहिए पानी नहीं मिल रहा है। मुनक नहर से जो पानी आता है बवाना के अंदर, दिल्ली को जो पानी मिलता है वो पानी कम हो गया। एलजी साहब कह रहे हैं हरियाणा पानी दे रहा है, हरियाणा पानी दे रहा है, हरियाणा पानी दे रहा है। आज हमने ऑल मिनिस्टर मीटिंग में ये निर्णय लिया है। आज हम एलजी साहब से अपील कर रहे हैं, आप कल कोई भी समय निर्धारित कर दीजिए, हम सारे मिनिस्टर एलजी साहब के साथ वजीराबाद ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट पे जाना चाहते हैं, जिससे कि आंख के सामने क्या नदी की स्थिति है, कितना पानी चाहिए ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट को, कितना पानी मिल रहा है, एलजी साहब भी देख लें, सारे अधिकारियों को भी साथ ले चलें, क्योंकि अधिकारी जो रिपोर्ट है वो कि कौन तोड़ मरोड़ रहा है पता नहीं चल रहा। तो हम चाहते हैं एलजी साहब से कि ज्वाइंट विजिट किया जाए, सारे मिनिस्टर हम आपके साथ चलेंगे, सारे अधिकारियों को साथ ले चलेंगे। वहाँ जो फ्लो चार्ट है रजिस्टर में रोजाना दर्ज होता है, वो रजिस्टर चेक कर लिया जाए, कितना पानी 10 दिन पहले आता था, कितना पानी 1 हफ्ते पहले आता था, कितना पानी 3 दिन पहले आया, कितना पानी कल आया, ये सारा ऑन रिकॉर्ड है जो चेक हो जाएगा। मुनक नहर से जो बवाना के अंदर जो फ्लो मीटर लगा हुआ है, वहाँ भी हम चलते हैं कि मुनक नहर में पहले पानी कितना आता था, 20 दिन पहले, 10 दिन पहले कितना पानी आता था, 5 दिन पहले कितना पानी आता था, 2 दिन पहले कितना पानी आया है, वो सारा फ्लो चार्ट सामने आ जाएगा। हमारी किसी के साथ दुर्भावना नहीं है, हमारी तो केवल एक ही विनती है हरियाणा की भाजपा सरकार से भी, एलजी साहब से भी, देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से भी, दिल्ली के लोगों को 3 गुना आबादी बढ़ने के बाद भी आप पानी नहीं बढ़ा रहे हो, लेकिन जो हमारा हक मिलता था 30 साल से, उसका पानी तो मत काटो। हमारी तो इतनी अपील है, हमारी किसी से लड़ाई नहीं है, हमारी दिल्ली के हक की लड़ाई है, और इसके लिए प्रधानमंत्री जी को हम लोग चिट्ठी लिख रहे हैं। एलजी साहब से अपील है, कल आप किसी समय ज्वाइंट विजिट का समय निर्धारित कर दीजिए, हम आपके साथ चलेंगे। हमारे पास जो रिकॉर्ड आ रहा है, आपके पास जो रिकॉर्ड आ रहा है, ग्राउंड रियलिटी हम आमने सामने बैठ करके चेक कर लेंगे। अगर पानी कम आ रहा है तो हम चाहते हैं कि हरियाणा वो पानी हमें दिल्ली को दे, जिससे दिल्ली के लोगों के, लाखों लोगों को जो दिक्कत है वो उसमें जो है लोगों को सहूलियत मिल सके। ये 2 बड़े फैसले हमने अभी ऑल मिनिस्टर मीटिंग में रखी है। मैं सौरभ भारद्वाज से चाहूँगा कि वो थोड़ी बात दो सर।
तो गोपाल जी ने जैसा कहा, हम लोग प्रधानमंत्री जी को पत्र लिख रहे हैं और एलजी साहब को भी कह रहे हैं कि वो हमारे साथ आएँ और इसको एक बार वेरीफाई करें।
कैलाश गहलोत जी,
जैसा कि गोपाल राय जी ने कहा, मेरे ख्याल से इसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं होनी चाहिए कि जहाँ से पानी आ रहा है मुनक नहर जाके या वजीराबाद जाके, हम खुद जाके सब अधिकारियों के साथ हम ये खुद अपनी आंखों से देख लें कि भाई पानी क्यों नहीं छोड़ा जा रहा। तो इसमें इंस्टेड ऑफ डिपेंडिंग कि क्या रिपोर्ट्स ऑफिशियल्स दे रहे हैं, ताकि दिल्ली वालों का जो हक है, दिल्ली वालों को जो परेशानी हो रही है, जो पानी नहीं है, उससे निजात मिले। और जो बातें गोपाल राय जी ने कही बहुत ही अहम है, हर एक बिंदु पे जो बात कही वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है और उसको पूरी गंभीरता के साथ लेना चाहिए।
इमरान भाई,
अभी माननीय मंत्री जी ने जो गोपाल राय जी ने बताया आप लोगों को, अभी 2 अहम मुद्दों पे जो और मीटिंग हुई है, उस पर मेरी भी एलजी साहब से, हमारी सबकी सामूहिक अपील है कि अभी 28 लाख से ज़्यादा लोगों को पानी दिल्ली में नहीं मिल रहा है और एलजी साहब कहते हैं कि सब पीछे से पानी पूरा आ रहा है। तो एक अगर जॉइंट इंस्पेक्शन हो जाए ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट का और वाटर फ्लो मीटर्स का, अगर एलजी साहब हम सब लोगों के साथ जाके देख लें तो दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा। कितना पानी आ रहा है, कितना नहीं आ रहा है, 10 दिन पहले कितना आया था, 2 दिन पहले कितना आया था, अभी माननीय मंत्री जी ने बताया। और आतिशी जी ने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को जो चिट्ठी लिखी थी उसके ऊपर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अभी तक कोई संज्ञान नहीं लिया है। तो मेरी गुजारिश है, अपील है उनसे भी, आज हम सब लोग सामूहिक चिट्ठी उन्हें भेज रहे हैं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी इसमें इंटरफेयर करें, क्योंकि हरियाणा में तो डबल इंजन की सरकार है, नायब सिंह सैनी जी की और उनकी। तो मैं समझता हूँ अगर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, क्योंकि वो खुद दिल्ली में रहते हैं, तो दिल्ली वालों की पीड़ा देखते हुए, पानी की किल्लत देखते हुए उन्हें इंटरफेयर करना चाहिए।
आज अनशन का चौथा दिन है, तो आज हमने ये निर्णय लिया है, जैसा कि अभी हम सार्वजनिक सभाएं होती हैं, जो कार्यकर्ता लोग आते हैं उनसे हम बात करते हैं, शाम को भी उसी तरह से सभा होगी। रात में आज 8 बजे जो यहाँ पर आतिशी जी के इस अनशन के समर्थन में कैंडल मार्च जो है वो 8 बजे शाम को निकाला जाएगा। तो मेरी अपील है, सभी जो लोग इस लड़ाई में साथ देना चाहते हैं, शाम को 8 बजे आप अनशन स्थल पर जरूर आएं। थैंक यू।
सर,
पार्टी की हरियाणा सरकार ने लगातार कम किया है। उसके लिए दिल्ली की जल मंत्री आतिशी जी आज चौथे दिन पानी सत्याग्रह पे अनिश्चितकालीन अनशन पे बैठी हुई हैं। दिल्ली में जो ये पानी की स्थिति बनी है और देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की जो चुप्पी है, दिल्ली के जल
bring speed and scale together, you change the world.
When we discovered Akamai compute infrastructure, we realized that it had been engineered for very high levels of consistent performance at very vast scales.
You can decide to build something that has to do heavy computation like artificial intelligence, but then you can move the decisions that are made by that engine all the way out to the edge where their users are.
What will you build next?
नींबू जैस्मिन की ताकत के साथ। नींबू की ताकत मैल की बैंड बजाए और जैस्मिन कपड़ों को फ्रेश बनाए।
Hello all, my name is Krish Nayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, here is an amazing crash course on Amazon Bedrock. Many people were requesting for this. Now what exactly is Amazon Bedrock? It is the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications within your AWS platform itself, right? Right now, many companies are using this. They are using this because understand one thing, that there are so many different companies who are providing LLM models for or LIM models for different text generation and image generation tasks, right? There is OpenAI, there is Cloudy2, there is Google, there is even Amazon also has its own LLM model which is named as Titan. And similarly, there is also Facebook, which is like Llama 2 model. So understand each and everything is that what is the main problem right now. If you want to use these APIs, if you want to use these models, everybody has a different setup, right? Now what Amazon Bedrock actually provides you, it provides you one AWS platform where all the models will be available, and through their API calls, you can probably use any of this kind of models. Right now, OpenAI is not there, but other than that, I could see almost each and every model that was available in Amazon Bedrock. Now, why this is important? Because a single platform, here you don't have to worry about scalability. You don't have to worry about other things. With respect to the cost that is in the Amazon Bedrock, right? It is slightly more than the OpenAI, and probably in the future, it may also get reduced. But at the end of the day, you should know what exactly Amazon Bedrock is. And probably I'll show you in this particular video different tasks. I will try to code it and I'll try to show you how you can use these APIs itself. So here is what is Amazon Bedrock, and easiest way to build and scale generative AI application with foundation model. I'll also discuss about what are these foundation models. As I said, so many different companies are coming up with some LLM models itself. So that is the foundation model. You can do the fine tuning here itself. You can use any of these models, perform any task, and even directly you can use it in your application wherever it is required. Okay. So if I talk about Amazon Bedrock, it is fully managed service that makes FMs, that is foundation models from leading AI startup and Amazon available via an API. So you can choose from a wide range of FMs to find the model that is best suited for your case. So with Bedrock serverless experience, you can start quickly, privately customize FM foundation models with your own data and easily integrate and deploy them in your application using AWS tools. So here you don't have to even worry about the deployment, the scalability and everything as such. So let me just go ahead and click on get started. So this is how it looks like. Now what all companies it specifically support, because I'm also going to show you the entire coding also, right? How you can use all these models. Right now in this foundation model, there are different models, like from AI21 Labs, you can see Jurassic 2 series is there. From Amazon, you have Titan models. From Cloudy, you have this Cloudy models by Anthropic. You have Llama 2, you have Stable Diffusion by Stability AI. You have this Command by Cohere. So through this, you will be able to perform different use cases like chat, text, image, right? And it also provides you hands-on lab, along with that, some kind of learning course, some basic learning course, which you can probably get started to. Now, here are some of the examples. Here you can see what all different use cases you can solve with respect to different models, right? So with the help of Titan Text G1, you can see action items from a meeting transcript, advanced Q&A with citation, with Llama 2 chat, 13B, right? This 13 billion parameters you can create chain of thoughts. Then here also you have with 70 billion parameters. With Cloudy, you can have character role play, code generation, content generation, contract entity extraction, create an image. Here you can see creating a table of product description. Then you have debug code with Llama 2, 13 billion parameters, Llama 2 chat. Then you have Jurassic, then you have this, right? So as soon as you probably click on anything, let's say I want to go and see that how it is going to create an image. So here it is what it looks like, right? This is the entire API request that you have to probably call. And with the help of this image will be generated. Let's say I will probably, let's see here. Okay, I can open this in Playground and I can give my own. So HD image of a beach. So this is the Playground where you can with sunset with sunrise. I can basically write like this, right? So as soon as I give this prompt and if I run it, you will be able to see that I'll be able to see this entire image. So it actually creates this. This is from the Stable Diffusion itself, right? So here you'll be able to see once we wait it, we'll be able to run it. And now here you can see this is an amazing image that is created. And you can use HD image, cinematic display, all different things you can probably put over here. If I still go with respect to the overviews, so as I showed, all these things are there. Examples, you can probably see all these things are there. You can go ahead and check out in the Playground. Let's say there is something called as creating table of product description. Here you can see this is the prompt, right? Sunglasses, keywords, polarized, this is there. Let's say this is your table. You can probably ask any kind of questions and get with respect to the answers also over here, right? So different use cases is there. At the end of the day, let's not show you these APIs. Now let's go ahead and implement all these things, right? And there are some steps which we will be seeing completely from scratch. Again, you can use any of these services as such. Yes, there is some pricing because at the end of the day, you're using some cloud services, right? It always depends on the tokens that you're specifically getting. So based on that, Amazon Bedrock basically charges you. So if you want to see the pricing, you can probably go ahead over here and write Amazon Bedrock and you can click on pricing, right? So Bedrock pricing, here is the link. Here you'll be able to see the pricing overview. Different pricing is there. And this is per 1,000 input tokens, right? Price per 1,000 output tokens, input tokens, output tokens. So all these prices is there. You can compare it with OpenAI models and all, but still this pricing will get reduced as we go ahead. More custom solutions will probably come up, right? So this is there, all good things. And you'll also be able to understand, see, Titan is also having this multi-model embeddings. But at the end of the day, we should know that how we can actually create entirely completely from scratch. So let me go ahead and start this, let's see whether I have opened any VS Code or not. So I will go ahead and start my VS Code. So let's see over here. Here is a folder that I have created over here. Let me rename this to AWS Bedrock. Okay, and let me show you. Okay, Bedrock. Okay, and let me just quickly show you how you can probably start it. Okay, so I'll show you the entire setup from starting and all, what all things is basically required over here. And you also require an IAM key over here itself, right? So first of all, I will open the terminal. After opening the terminal over here, I will open the command prompt. As usual, we will go ahead and create a new environment. That is always a good idea. Okay, so for creating a new environment, I'll write conda create -p venv python =3.10 with y. Okay, so I hope everybody knows about this. So this will basically create my venv environment, and once that environment is created, I will activate it. Till then, I will also go ahead and install requirements.txt. okay, so once I install requirement.txt, I will be requiring some libraries like Boto3. So Boto3 is a library which will actually help me to connect all the services that we have in Amazon Bedrock, right? AWS Bedrock also. So this is some of the things. Along with this, I will also go ahead and import or install AWS CLI, right? So guys, now after creating the environment, I will go ahead and activate the environment. So venv. So my environment has been activated. Now what I'm actually going to do over here, I'll save this requirement.txt, and then we will go ahead and install these two libraries. One is pip install -r requirement.txt. So once I specifically install all these requirements, one is two only libraries are required, Boto3 and AWS CLI. Now the next thing, till this requirement is getting installed, we also need to create an IAM user so that we will be able to configure it with the AWS itself, right? So what I'm actually going to do, I'll go ahead and click on the home page. Okay, I will sign into the console again, and here I will search for IAM user. Okay, so once you go to the IAM user, you will be able to see that I will go ahead and create a user itself. So right now there are multiple users. So let me do one thing. Let me go and see the user. Already Krish is created, but I will just create one more user. Let's say test admin. Okay, so this is the user that I will specifically create, and I will click on next. I will say attach policies directly. I will select this option, and I will give the administrator access. Okay, so administrator access basically means that we are giving the administrator access itself, right? But again, when you're working in the company, you will definitely not get this access. Instead, based on the services that you are specifically using, that access you will get. Okay, I will go ahead and create the policy. So let's see, once I go over here, then it'll ask for some permission. So okay, forget about policies. Then I will go ahead, and here you will be able to see that I'll select the next button. Okay, after selecting the next button, you can see I'm getting the administrator access. Along with this, what I'll go ahead and create the user itself. Now this is the user that you can see over here, test admin, right? And now let me click on this create access key, right? So I definitely require an access key. So for that, I will go ahead and create this. Over here, you can select command line interface since we are going to use it for CLI. I will go ahead and click on this I understand, and then I will go ahead and click on the next. Once I click on the next, you'll be able to see there's some description value it will ask for. I will say test key. Okay, and let me go ahead and create the access key. So here you can see I have the access key, I have the secret access key. Now what you can do is that in this particular case, you can download this, right? So that later on you'll not be able to see this. So it is a good idea that you download this in the form of CSV file. So I'll download this in the form of CSV file, and inside this CSV file, I'll get these two values. One is access key, one is the secret access key.
इस बटर के साथ तो और भी टेस्टी है। क्यों? क्योंकि टेस्ट के साथ ये इम्यूनिटी भी बनाए रखे। नया न्यूट्रलाइट दूध शक्ति प्रोबायोटिक बटर स्प्रेड जो सपोर्ट करे इम्यूनिटी एंड इज सो वेरी टेस्टी। न्यूट्रलाइट दूध शक्ति प्रोबायोटिक बटर स्प्रेड।
ऐसे जिद्दी दाग निकाले सिर्फ एसआर के।
ये नहीं, टाइड।
स्टेन रिमूवल किंग। सुपरस्टार सफाई कहाँ मिलेगी? जी हाँ, टाइड के साथ सिर्फ 60 रुपए में। ऐसे जिद्दी दाग निकाले सिर्फ एसआर के।
ये नहीं, टाइड।
स्टेन रिमूवल किंग। सुपरस्टार सफाई कहाँ मिलेगी? जी हाँ, टाइड के साथ सिर्फ 60 रुपए में।
So let me just quickly go ahead and copy this, and now I will go ahead and configure it, right? We need to configure it over here. So already you know that we have also made sure that this AWS CLI is available over here and it is installed. Now what we are going to do quickly is that we will go ahead and configure it from the command line. So let me go ahead and write AWS configure, right? So here you will be able to see it is asking for AWS key ID. So I will copy and paste it over here. So I will copy this and I will paste it over here. Okay, so once I probably paste it, you will be able to see that it will also ask for secret access key. So here I will copy it and let me quickly go ahead and paste it over here. So here is what, see right now you are able to see the access key, but don't worry, I will delete this as soon as I complete this video. Now the default region it is basically asking, so right now it is US East 1. So if I go ahead and see my Amazon Bedrock right now where I am pointing to, so please make sure that you point it to US East 1. If you are not pointing over here, you can basically, whatever region you are pointing, you have to write it over there. But right now, according to me, I'm going to point it over here, right? That is with respect to US East 1. Now, one more additional setting you really need to do is that go to the model access, because see, initially when you are in this US East 1, this model access will not be given, right? So over here you have to access, you need to have the status of access granted, then only you'll be able to use the specific models. Now for that, when you click on manage model access, right, automatically this selection will come, and here you will be able to just save the changes. Here one option of activate changes will come, see in the bottom side, like save changes is over here, no? So here I have enabled it and this access is granted. Right now if it is not granted, then this all will be disabled right now, right? So what I will do, just to show you an example, let me just reload this page. Let me show you whether I have granted some other, see, let's say with respect to Singapore. If I'm in Asia Pacific Singapore region, right? Now inside the Singapore region, you will be able to see that, see, something is not available over here, right? Like these two are not available. So I will skip Singapore. Let's go to Tokyo, okay? Just to show you an idea, because I have already activated in US East 1. So if I probably see with this region, here you will be able to see this much access you have available to a request, available to request. So if I probably click on manage model, and if I probably just click on this, let's say these are available, right? I just need to click on request model access. So for this region, only these 3 models are available. These 2 models are available. So my always suggestion would be that you go to US East 1, right? In US East 1, you will be able to see multiple models like this, right? Multiple models you'll be able to see it. Okay. So you have to request for the access, right? If I probably, you can select US East 1 also, or you can also select US West. It is up to you. US West 2. So here also they provide you the access of all the models, right? So understand one thing, why I'm showing you all these things, because initially you really need to request the access. And this is also what I have requested already. So here you'll be able to find out more use cases, right? So everything is available, right? But by default, I will go ahead and use this US East of N Virginia, okay? So right now, again, my access is granted. So if your access is not granted, you have to request for it, okay? So once this is done, I will go back to my command prompt. Here, the default region is US East 1. So I'll press enter. This is what I really want. And default output format, I want in the form of JSON. So I will go ahead and write JSON. Okay. So this is the initial setup you really need to do. Now let's start working on different models. So guys, now once we have actually configured, now we will go ahead and use any of these models as an example, and we'll try to perform various tasks. So in this example, let me do one thing. Let me take an example of content generation in cloud. Okay. So cloudy one we can specifically take, or let's say I want llama 2, you can actually take llama 2. So it's up to you. So let's first of all start with this llama 2 itself, and for this I'm going to specifically use llama 2 70 billion parameters. Okay, the chain of thoughts. Okay, and with respect to every model, you will be getting some model ID, content type. So this is how is the API request needs to go. So we'll form this entire API request through our code, and then we will go ahead and hit this. Okay, so let me quickly go ahead and start my coding. Okay, so here I will rename this to llama 2, the llama 2. So here is the file, guys, llama2.py. So I will start my code over here. So first of all, let me go ahead and write import boto3. I'm going to import boto3. Along with it, I'm also going to import JSON. The first thing, as usual, you will be able to see that whenever I see this files, right, say chain of thought over here, I have to create my API request with the help of model name, model ID. Then I need to also put content type, then accept. Then my body should look something like this, prompt with all this information. See, in llama 2, so basically your prompt intro will start with, or prompt first character will probably start with, first word will start with this. Okay, it's just like an instruction. Okay, inst. Then here you have multiple options. You can probably see this, right? You have options like max gen length, then temperature, then top p 0.9, something like this. Okay, so top p basically means, I think it is with respect to the probability. So let's quickly go ahead and set up that entire command prompt. So what I will do is that I will copy this entirely. Okay, and I will create one JSON. Okay, I will write test.json so that I have that format over here. So this is the JSON. I have to make sure that I have to put all my API requests in this form. Okay, for using llama 2. Now quickly I will go ahead and write one prompt underscore data. I will say, hey, this prompt data I want to do something like that. I'll say act as a Shakespeare and write a poem on machine learning. Let's say this is my prompt that I specifically want to use. Okay, now the most amazing thing is that Amazon AWS Bedrock is quite good. You know, it provides you easy APIs. The APIs request, you just need to use it and start serving it, start using it in your application. So I will first of all go ahead and use this Bedrock. So I will write Bedrock is equal to boto3.client, and then I will specifically use my service underscore name. Service underscore name is equal to, and I have to give the service name as Bedrock dash runtime. So this is the first thing that we really need to do. This is the client name, like this is the service name that we really need to use, and with the help of boto3 we'll be able to connect to the Bedrock itself. So this is my Bedrock over here. Now the next thing is that I need to form the payload, right? So this will basically be my payload structure. As a dictionary, I will try to give the values in key value pair. As usual, if I probably see the test JSON, this is what is my body. So I need to have in the form of key value pairs. Prompt is equal to some value. Then you'll be able to see max gen length some value, temperature some value, top underscore p some value. So similarly, I will also give my payload in this format. So here I will write prompt colon, and here I will go ahead and write inst, since this is my intro, right? And this intro will be concatenated with my prompt underscore data, right? So this I'm concatenating with my prompt underscore data, and in the end I have to probably also end this instruction. Okay, so this is how my prompt, this prompt body has got created, right? This is what it has got created, right? Because the prompt will get inserted over here. Now along with this prompt, I need to provide some more different values, right? What all values I need to provide? One example is that I'm getting from my API max gen underscore len. Okay, and this will also be in the form of key value pairs, and here I will mention 512. Okay, and then the next thing is that I will go ahead and write temperature with colon 0.5 comma top underscore p colon 0.9. Okay, so these are my initial values that I've actually set up, and this is nothing but this is my payload, the payload that is specifically going over here. So once we do this, the next thing what I will do, this is basically my body. So I will write body json.dumps I'll basically convert this into a JSON, and I will use my payload over here. Okay. So once my body is basically created, the next thing what I'm actually going to do over here, I'm going to basically write my model ID and use model ID name. As usual, the model ID name is this one, meta, this one, version 1, something. Okay. So I'll paste it over here. So this basically becomes my model ID itself. Now I'll go ahead and create my response. Now in the response, what I need to do, I just need to write Bedrock, the Bedrock object that is created over here, dot invoke underscore model. Okay. Now inside this, I'll give my first parameter. The first parameter is nothing but body. The body will be initialized to the specific body itself, whatever body we have actually created. The second parameter is nothing but my model ID. So model, oops, just a second. Bedrock. So I have to use this model ID. Okay, so this will basically be my second parameter that I really need to give, model ID. And this I will initialize to what we need to initialize to this model ID. Right? So my second parameter is also done. Body is done, model ID is done. After model ID, I need to give my accept token. As usual, what is the accept token in test.json? It is nothing but application/JSON. So I'll paste it over here. Oops. I'll paste it over here. Done. The next parameter after this will be nothing but, let me see, content type. Okay, so I have to also give my content type over here. This will also be my application/JSON, I guess. Again, I'm just seeing this API. So whatever values are there, my body is ready, my accept, model ID, content type, everything is ready. These are the 4 parameters I need to give in my invoke model, right? What model I'm specifically invoking. Now, once I get this, you will be able to see that. Once I probably go ahead and write response underscore, this will basically be my response. Inside this response, understand, once I get this specific response, I'll take the body part. Okay, so inner part, because there will be many different contents that will be coming up. So if I write json.loads, I will take this value and I will say response.get. So inside this, there will be a key which will be called as body. Okay, inside that body, you will find out entire information of the response that you are able to get. In this particular case, whatever text I'm writing, act as a Shakespeare and write a poem on machine learning. So this is basically my prompt, and it will give that specific text inside this body. Okay, so I will write this. Okay, just body.read. This is done. Now I will go ahead and print. I can also print it, but I don't want it. So let me go ahead and write response underscore text. Now inside this, one thing that you will be able to see that whenever we use Llama 2, if you don't know, I've also created videos with respect to Llama 2, the open source model. If I use this response underscore body, there will also be a key. See, inside this body, there'll be a body key. Inside that, there will be another key which will be called as generation, which will have the entire text of the response that we want. Okay, so I will just go ahead and print this response underscore text. Done. Now let's see if everything is working fine or not, and whether we will be able to see each and everything. So this is very simple. A prompt is over here. We have invoked the Bedrock. Then there is a payload. Then here you have this entire body I've created in the form of JSON. Then model ID, accept, content type. The main thing is understand this test JSON, right? And then you will be able to do it. So perfect. Let's execute this now. And let's see whether everything is working fine or not. Okay, so I will just go ahead and write Python. Say what I'll go ahead and write what is generative AI, like write a poem on.
मजा आ गया। पेश है नया सिजलिंग हॉट रेंज, इतना तीखा कि मजा आ गया।
हर दिन चाहिए सालों वाला लुक, है ना? पर हर दिन सालों जाना इम्पॉसिबल। तो फिर?
But Kiara, salon तो घर पे है। Tresemme Keratin Smooth, your salon professional. With keratin and argan oil, frizz control करे 72 hours तक।
हर दिन रहो स्टाइलिश, रहो तैयार। Tresemme, अब घर पे salon.
Generative AI, you will be able to see this. You'll get some response over here. So I'll save this. Now I will go ahead and run it. Okay. Now, similarly, you can actually do it with Cloudy too. You can do it with Stable Diffusion. I'll also show you an example with respect to Stable Diffusion, and then you can also explore that. As said, now let's go ahead. We will try to do it with the help of Cloudy too. And again, with respect to that also, we'll try to see. Okay, so this is one text generation. So here also you can see, in the realm of code and circularity, a marvel of man's ingenuity, a creation that dot rival the generative AI wonder to see. So all the information is specifically coming over here. Now let's try another API, and then after this we will go ahead and try the image generation with the help of Stable Diffusion. So Cloudy, let's see, where is Cloudy content generation. Okay, so here is my API. I will copy this. It is always good to keep a test JSON like this. Okay, now almost each and everything is same. Okay, I will talk about like what all changes will basically happen. Okay, so Llama 2, let me just copy this 4 lines of code, will be almost same. Then I have my payload. I will also copy this, and then we'll change the payload. Okay, so we'll change the payload. So inside this payload, you have prompt is equal to human. You are an expert social media generation. So whatever prompt, basic prompt data, right? So here I don't have to probably create this. I don't want this. Okay, so this will basically be my prompt data. Done. Then let's go with the next parameter. So what are the next parameter? Come on guys, till then hit like. I'm working so much hard here. Come on. Okay, anthropic version is there, stop sequence is there, temperatures, this is there, max tokens is there, say max token to sample is there. So let me just quickly go ahead and write what all things I require over here. So I will go ahead and write max tokens. Okay, so this will be 512 max tokens. Then I have my temperature. Then I have the top P parameter looks something like this. Okay, top P will be 0.8. Okay, something. I'm putting some values. Temperature, let's keep it to 0.8. Let it be more creative. Okay, so this is basically my payload. Okay, now everything almost looks same. You'll be able to see that I will. Okay, I think there is another one. Let's see. Content generation is also there. This is also there. Okay, fine. No worries. Okay, so I think I've used another version. Let me use another one also, which I have already tried. So it'll be looking good. Okay, so Cloudy 2. So let's quickly go ahead and create my body. So here you have this one. So body json.doms payload, model ID will be this one, right? Bedrock this. Everything is there, body, model ID, application and content type. So once we get the response, this time when we get the response body, okay, like this, when we get this specific body, now inside this body, you'll be able to see that there, in the case of Llama 2, inside this body, we have generation. But here inside this body, we will be having some more steps. Okay, so that will be some more key value pairs. So here I've written it. So it will be nothing but completions of 0, get data, and then get text. So in completions, it is just like a list of key value pairs. So I will just take the first one and then probably display the data inside that, whatever text is basically coming. And then we will go ahead and response underscore text. Okay. So now everything works fine. I think I've used this model or other model. So this is version 2. Okay. In Cloudy, let's say in Cloudy, some other version is also there. I don't know from where I found out, but it was available here only. Advanced Q&A. Yes, I used this one, I guess. Yeah, advanced Q&A. I used this model ID, I guess. Okay, perfect. So once we do this, let's go ahead and run it now. Now I'll go to my terminal. Now let's see whether each and everything will run fine or not. Once I tried with Llama 2, now I'm tried with Cloudy 2, right? So I will write Python Cloudy 2 cloudy.py. Okay. So here also you'll be able to see the print statement. Oh, this was quite fast, right? So here you can see, oh, gentle AI with your boundary power to think and create with no efforts. So you are specifically getting this specific output also. So this was with respect to Cloudy. Again, you can try anything that you want. Just take this JSON, just try to play with it. Let's say I take this information only and use this model. Let's see. I will paste it over here. I will take this entire thing and paste this model. So here itself I'll change it. I think cloudy, I may get an error because I don't know whether we are able to manage it or not. So I thought access denied. See, so this model is not available. The version 1 is available, I guess. I think I explored this earlier. Find it somewhere. If I probably search this, you will be able to find it, I guess. Let's see. But anyhow, you try it out from your end. I'll be giving you the code. Like this, we are not able to search. Advanced Q&A and all. Okay, fine. Next, start with, I think, see, in US, why that is not working, right? Because if I go ahead and see the model access, the cloudy model is not available. See, cloudy instant is not available. So that is the reason that version 1 was available and I was still exploring things, right? And I probably got in that. But no worries, we'll now go ahead with stable diffusion. So let's go to the base model. See, version 2.1, these all models are specifically there. If I go to examples, let's see with respect to stable diffusion. So 1.0 is there, 0.8 is there. We'll go with the recent one. And again, I will go ahead and copy this. Okay. So this will basically be my next text JSON. Okay. So I will keep all these things over here itself. Now let me quickly create one more file. Save this. One more file, stable diffusion. Now here we will try to create an image in AWS from AWS.py. Okay. Now for stable diffusion also almost all the things will be same. I've already created the code. But here what I will do, I will just show you what all things I will do. See, stable diffusion basically means I have written a prompt data. See, provide me a 4K HD image of beach. Also use blue sky, rainy season and cinematic display. Okay. Now, with respect to this text JSON, here you can see body has something called as text prompt. And then you have text information. And with respect to the text information, this is basically my prompt. Along with this, you have parameters like weight, CFG scale, seed, this is there. So what I do, first of all, I will set in that format only. So first of all, I create my prompt template where I have my text, my prompt data with weight. Okay. So this becomes my entire, this information. Understand this thing, right? You just need to set it. That's it. Text is equal to this information with weight. So I've kept it in the form of list with key value pairs. So that is what I'm getting it over here inside this prompt template. Then I've used Boto client. I've used the service name runtime. Now remaining is all my payload. So inside this, what all payload you require? See, first of all, I require text prompt. The second thing that I require is seed, steps, width, height, right? Width, height. So let me do one thing. I will change this to 1024. I will also change it to 1024. So these are all the parameters I've set. Step size is nothing but 50, width is 1024, height is 1024. So this becomes my entire payload. I have converted this into the JSON. I've used this model ID because this is the same model ID I'm able to get it over here, right? Stability.stable diffusion x1v1. It's very simple. Once you do one, right, everything will be able to use it. So here I've used that. Then I've invoked this model with content type, model ID, body, everything. Once I get the response, now see, what response you will get in this format, right? When you probably see the response body, there you'll be getting key value pairs with something called as artifacts. Inside that, you will find a base 64 encoded response of the images. So what we did is that we took this particular artifact of 0. We took that base 64, we encoded it with UTF-8, and this is how you read any encoded image, right? From that encoded image, we have converted that into bytes, and then we have saved that particular image to some output directory. So output directory, output folder will get created, and I am creating one image over here, right? So that is what we are specifically doing with respect to this, right? So file name will be nothing but inside that particular output directory, and then we can open that specific image if you want. Okay, we are writing that image, we are writing that image inside this particular PNG. That is same. See, whatever things we did over here, only the thing that is changing, how you're converting that bytes information that we are getting into an image and saving that in our folder. Okay, so let me quickly execute and run it and show it to you, and then you will be able to understand. Okay, so here I will be showing you Python stable diffusion.py. So once I execute it, here you now, okay, request steps 400 generation error. What is this error? Let's see. Okay, there is an error. Let's see what is the error. Bedrock invoke model. Let me see. I think there was a small minor mistake. X1 version, this is Client 3. Okay, Windows. Let me see over here. So now it is working. I did some minor mistake over there, which I have fixed it. Okay. So this is the byte information that we are getting. See the image bytes. Now if I see my output folder, this is my image. Okay. So if I go ahead and see, find in folder. Okay. Sorry. I will go ahead and preview in folder, reveal in file explorer. So if I go ahead and create this image, see this image, this is how the image is basically created. And it's look good, right? So what is the prompt I've used over here? If you see with respect to this, my stable diffusion.py, here we have basically created something like this. Provide me a 4K HD image of a beach. So I hope you got an idea with respect to this. Now in the upcoming videos, what I'll do is that I'll create some amazing projects by using this specific APIs. But in short, once I deploy these projects, I can deploy it anywhere I want, right? Hugging Face spaces, anywhere itself. So my suggestion would be that try as many as you can, see different like character role play. What is the input prompt you really need to give? Based on that, try to create use cases, which will be amazing for you, right? So this was it from my side. I hope you like this particular video. Please, if you like this particular video, please make sure that you hit like, share with all your friends. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you, one all. Take care. Bye-bye.
अगर इनकी और मेरी तरह आप भी हैं बिरयानी लवर, तो आज ही शुरू करें तैयारी टू सेलिब्रेट दावत वर्ल्ड बिरयानी डे साथ on July 7.
Build Python applications with Meta's Llama 2. Gain hands-on experience with our open online course.
Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, we are going to continue our generative AI series on AWS Cloud, and in this video, I'm going to probably show you how you can actually deploy your Hugging Face model, let it be an open source model or any LLM models also, specifically in AWS SageMaker, that is Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker is one of the important services in AWS where you can probably complete the entire life cycle of a data science project or an AI project completely, along with MLOps till the deployment, each and everything. So in this particular video, I will be showing you how we can take up any Hugging Face model in short and probably deploy it in the SageMaker itself. So please make sure that you watch this video till the end. And one more very important thing, guys, just check out this particular video. There may be some amount of charges that may incur. So please be careful with respect to this. Whenever you start creating, and finally when you create that particular endpoint, make sure that you delete all the endpoints itself. And I will be providing you the entire guidance as we go ahead. So first of all, we are just going to go ahead and search for AWS SageMaker. And to start with, how to probably work with AWS SageMaker Studio and all, I will also be talking about that. So first of all, you can see, you can just go ahead and click on getting started. Okay. And with respect to this AWS SageMaker, the documentation is pretty much amazing, right? So if you don't know about AWS or Amazon SageMaker, it provides machine learning capabilities that are purpose built for data scientists and developers to prepare, build, train, and deploy high quality ML models efficiently. So what we are going to basically do is that step by step, I'm going to actually show you. So I'll go to the domain part and I will go ahead and create the domain. So once I probably go ahead and create the domain, so here there are two options. One is setup for organization and the other one is setup for single user. Okay. So as soon as, and right now we are just going to test it for single user. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this. Here you will be able to get an IAM role. Automatically it will be creating it with this Amazon SageMaker full access policy. Public internet access, standard encryption, SageMaker Studio, you'll get the access to this. You'll be getting shareable SageMaker Studio notebooks, SageMaker Canvas, and IAM authentication. So each and everything by inbuilt, it will be providing you this entire environment where you can actually do the coding. So just go ahead and click this. So once you probably go ahead and click this, you will be able to see something like, okay, the setup is going to take place. And it is going to take some amount of time, you know, again, it depends on how much time it is probably going to take over here. It will automatically create the users and everything, you'll be able to get it, right? So here, if I probably go ahead and just reload this, you'll be able to see that my third domain is probably over here getting set up. Pending is this, and it will probably take some amount of time based on the usage. But other than that, you can probably see that I've already created two. So since this is already getting created, I will just go ahead and show you some more examples with respect to this. So let me just go ahead and quickly click on this quick setup domain, you'll be able to see that by default it will be creating a user. Okay, you can add any number of users based on the organization that you're specifically working in. Let's say you want to provide access to multiple users in the same domain itself, you can also provide it. Okay, so by default, as soon as you provide the user access also, there is one very important thing that you will be able to see, right? And that is nothing but the user information over here. Along with this, let me just hide my face. Here you'll be able to see that you'll be getting a launch button. Okay, so through this you'll be able to access Canvas. I will be talking about Canvas as we go ahead in the further videos. TensorBoard, I hope everybody knows about TensorBoard. Profiler, but we are just interested in working on this particular studio, right? So once I probably click on this studio, and you will be able to see that I will be able to get this entire Amazon SageMaker. It will be a studio completely, which will actually provide you the entire ecosystem with respect to any kind of development that you really want to do. Okay, so here you can probably see Jupyter Lab is there. If you want to quickly start, deploy, fine tune and evaluate pre-trained models specifically for LLM, you can also go ahead with this. You know, if you want to probably go ahead and do some kind of auto ML, you can also see over here there is an option, model evaluation. So you'll find this entire ecosystem. Okay, now what I'm actually going to do is that I'm just going to click on this Jupyter Lab, and right now you'll be able to see that nothing is running over here. Okay, nothing is running specifically. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to create a Jupyter Lab. Okay, over here, Jupyter Lab space, so that I will be able to work it. Okay, so here I'm just going to write test demo SageMaker. Okay, and this I'm going to show you with Hugging Face. Okay, Hugging Face models, right? So here it will first of all ask you to probably select the instance, right? Multiple instances you can probably select. For my use cases, again, this instances, if I go ahead and check over here, SageMaker instances, based on different instances, there is a different price. So you really need to be taking care of this, because see, if you're working in a company, based on the requirement, you can probably select the instances. So here you can probably see on demand pricing. So let's say if I select ML33 medium, $0.05, here it provides you CPU with 2 core, 4 GB memory. But understand, if you are specifically working with generative AI models, right, you definitely require a huge amount of data, right? Huge amount of space. So if you probably go further, there will be good amazing system accelerating computing, which also provides you not only CPU cores but also GPUs, right? So as you keep on using more and more, you'll be able to see the charges will be going higher and higher. But just in this specific video, I really want to show you some demo. But again, if you just get this idea, in any companies, if you go, you will be able to work it out, right? So I'm going to take a small system and probably work with this, right? Now, which small system I'm going to specifically take? So if I go up, here is something called as ML.M5 too large. So if you go ahead and see over here, ML too large. So this is basically providing 8 core GPUs and 32 GB memory. The charges will be 0.461 price per hour for using this particular instance. The reason why I'm doing this is that because I will just give you an example of one of the model, how it is deployed and all. Okay, and we'll see to that. Okay, so here I'm just going to keep the storage to 10 GB, and now I will go ahead and click on run space. Okay, so once the run space is clicked on, you'll be able to see that my entire environment will be ready and I should be able to work it out. Okay, and with respect to this, any kind of code that you run, right? In my recent video, you have also seen that I have actually created entire one Lambda function with API gateway. I've shown you how to probably create the endpoint and all. So all those things you can probably do with this also. But here, more amazing endpoints you'll be, more amazing ecosystem and features you'll be able to get. Okay. So this is going to take some amount of time. So, okay, now it is created. Now I can just go ahead and click on Open Jupyter Lab. Now, understand with respect to Hugging Face, there are multiple ways to load a specific model. Okay, there are multiple ways. All those ways I'm going to talk about, and this will be important for you because you really need to know, have an idea like how we can actually work in AWS system, right? So once this is loaded, the first step, okay, what you can do, I will just go ahead and change my theme. So I'll make it Jupyter Dark. Okay, so here you have options. You have options for notebook, you have options for console, terminal, Python, anything you can specifically work it. I will just go ahead and open notebook. And the first thing that I will do is that just go ahead and write pip install SageMaker, okay, which is the upgraded version. Just go ahead and install that. Automatically the installation will be taking place, and all the recent updates that is basically there with respect to the SageMaker, that will get updated. And understand, this is my entire environment, the same Jupyter notebook that we usually specifically work on and all. So, right, so here you'll be able to see this. Now to go ahead with what we really need to do initially, so I will go ahead and import SageMaker, okay, and there are some steps that you definitely need to follow as we start, right? So I'm going to import Boto 3, and I'll be providing you all the code in the description of this particular video. So first of all, we'll go ahead and create our session. The session will be nothing but SageMaker.session, okay, SageMaker.session. So by default, whatever is the session, we'll be able to get it. Initially, we have not set up any session buckets or anything as such. You can also create that particular session. So I'm just going to write over here, even with some comments, so that it will be beneficial for you. So here you can see session, SageMaker session bucket used for uploading data model logs. So if you want to probably upload data, upload a custom data, or download the Hugging Face model in this particular S3 bucket and probably retrieve from that or use from that, you can actually do that. SageMaker will automatically create this bucket if it does not exist, okay? So you can probably go ahead and write this particular condition, and here you'll be able to see that if there is nothing as such, if it is none, I'm just going to probably if the session is not there, I'm going to probably go ahead and create the default bucket, okay? So this is the code that we do initially, and this bucket will specifically be used to upload any custom data or training data. It can be models after the inferencing and multiple things. Now, other than this, we really need to focus on the role management over here, because since we are using AWS SageMaker, to execute any kind of code, specifically by using the services of AWS SageMaker, we really need to provide the role access and all. So for this, we can just go ahead and write some try catch blocks. So here I'm just going to go ahead and write try, and let me just go ahead and do pass over here, and let me go ahead and write except block. With respect to this particular except block, I will just go ahead and raise some value error. And the best thing over here is that you'll get all the suggestion, right? And that is pretty much amazing, right? Once you're specifically using it. Let's say my IAM user is not yet set, so it will obviously give an exception. So it will go to this particular value error. And here I will first of all go ahead and set up my user. So I'm user in short. So I'll go ahead and write boto3.client. And I'm also checking out the documentation page. It is always good to probably check out the documentation page and perform in that particular way. And then I'm going to basically set up my role. I'm going to use im.get_role. Now it is going to probably pick up those role that is configured with this particular Jupyter notebook, right? So I'm just going to write role name, okay, is equal to SageMaker underscore execution underscore role. Okay, and this is basically going to be set up with our role, and from that we are going to probably take a ARN number, right? That is how we specifically identify the unique role that we are probably trying to give. Okay, so all this thing is done over here. Let me just make some spaces that is actually required whenever we work with this. Okay, so here you can probably see my role is also set up. This is my exception. Now let me quickly go ahead and write in a try once the role is set up. So I can basically go ahead and write SageMaker.getExecution role. Okay, this will be responsible in getting the execution role. If by default nothing is set up, then you can probably call it out based on the role that it has. Okay. Again, one common thing that I've seen that we have to provide spaces over here. So that is one of the things over here. So please make sure that you keep on working with respect to that whenever you're writing any code. After that, I will just go ahead and write session is equal to SageMaker.session. I'm just going to call my session, and here I'm just going to use my default bucket. So here one of the parameter that you can probably see is nothing but your default bucket, which will be assigned to my default bucket, or sorry, not default bucket, SageMaker session bucket. That is my default parameter that is specifically required. Okay, so this is the first step that you really need to do it. Okay, and then finally I can go ahead and print my, you can see how it is going to pick up the ARN role. Okay, SageMaker role ARN. and here I'm going to basically set it up to role. Okay, so this is the role that is going to get print up, and next the print is equal to, and here you can probably also go ahead and write your SageMaker session. So SageMaker session region, if I want to display it, okay, it will be nothing but session dot boto region name, right? So this is also there. So once I execute it, let's see whether it will be working fine. So here you can see not applying HTTP defaults. This is there, not applying info. Okay, some error I can probably see over. Okay, let's go ahead and do that again. Okay, now it's working fine. You can probably see SageMaker role is basically this, and this is the default role that the domain has basically created with respect to the user. And then US East one I'm actually working on. Okay, so this is the first step. Now if I have the roles and all, now I can probably go ahead and call any kind of models that I specifically want. So first we will try to call one type of model, and I will just go ahead and show you the code. Okay, so here I'm calling one model which is called as distill BERT uncased distill squad, and this is specifically used for question answering. So I am basically going to give the hub configuration. See, Hugging Face Hub, if you don't know about Hugging Face Hub, then there you definitely have a lot of models which you can probably use for multiple use cases. So here you can see Hugging Face model ID. I have to probably give whatever is my model ID. The kind of task that I'm looking for, I'll be giving in the form of key value pairs in this particular variable called as hub. Okay. Then we go ahead and create the Hugging Face model, right? And for that, we have already deployed or imported from SageMaker.HuggingFace model, import Hugging Face, right? And then finally, you'll be able to see that I'm using this environment hub. Okay, role I've obviously used, transformer version, which is provided, PyTorch version, and Py version 3.9. Okay, so this is how the parameters you really need to give with respect to this. Okay, so I've already executed this and I don't want to again deploy this entire model in my another Jupyter notebook because it is going to definitely take time. So just to give you an idea, I have already done that. So let me just show you over here. This is my another instance which I was actually working on. So here is my second Hugging Face model which I have actually given. Third, how to deploy it to the SageMaker inferences. As you know, I have selected ml.m5 x large. Okay, so I'm writing predictor by using the same Hugging Face model dot deploy. I'll be saying the instance count as 1. Okay, because I just required one instance. And what is the instance type? Instance type is ml.m5.x large. Okay, where I'm specifically deploying. Other than that, I need to make sure that how should I give my input. So I will be creating in this particular format because this model, that is distill based uncased distill squad, will be requiring the input data in this particular format. That is question, what is the use for inferences, then context, my name is so and so. I've just given some examples so that my more charges should not incur, and then we'll go ahead and predict the data. So here you'll be able to see if I go ahead and write predictor dot predict, okay, with respect to this particular data, because this data is required in that particular use case. So here you can see score is this one, start is this one, end is this one, answer is SageMaker, right? So what is used for inferences? So here you can see from this particular question, you have that SageMaker it is going to pick up. Understand when I execute this code, it is going to take 5 to 10 minutes to deploy into this, and you will be able to get your endpoint. Okay, just to give you an idea, how does an endpoint look like? I'll just go over here, just a second.
15% increment बढ़िया तो है. पैसे के पीछे मत भाग. Slow and steady wins the race. तुझे कछुआ बनना है या खरगोश?
They won't get it. We do. Naukri for the ambitious.
Estoy viviendo en
गाढ़ी रसीले आमों से बना स्लाइस, रस ऐसा कि बस ना चलेगा.
How does the endpoint look like if you really want to see? So here if I go back to my SageMaker studio, I've created multiple endpoints. So if you go to deployments, you'll be able to see endpoints over here, right? These two endpoints are there. Let's say I want to go ahead and see this particular endpoint. Okay, I can click on this particular endpoint, And once we deploy it, that endpoint will be created. If I want to test the inferences, you'll be able to see that I'll be getting this application JSON, and whatever body I'm specifically giving, like how I'm giving over here, this is my entire body, right? And with respect to that particular body, if I give over here also and just test it, I should be able to get, if I just click on send request, I should be able to get my output, right? And there are also multiple options like auto scaling. You can scale to whatever things you specifically want based on the charges again. But here you'll be able to see that I have deployed this model in this particular instance, and you'll be able to just use that particular endpoint wherever you want in your code, anywhere as such, based on your requirement, right? So this was the entire thing, right? Let's try some more thing. Okay, I will again create some more data over here, and my name is Krish, and I teach data science. I'll just give this a, and I teach data science. Okay, so what does Krish like? Okay, I'm just going to execute this. Let's see whether I'm going to get the answer. I'm predictor.predict. So you have a predict method. Here you can see the answer is data science, right? What does Krish like? What does Krish teach? Also you can basically do. Okay, you'll be able to get the answer, data science. Okay, so in short, this is just a simple model, right? I've probably deployed this particular model. You'll be able to see that this is my entire SageMaker, and here it took some amount of time. I think this dots are like every 1 minute, around 6 to 7 minutes to deploy this entire model in this particular instance, which I have actually created. Now, just to give you an idea, like how does machine learning or LLM model be like? So I'll be giving you multiple examples. So first of all, you have to probably go ahead and update SageMaker. The same thing by keeping your role and region name. Then you are basically going to call the SageMaker image URI, right? Since we are going to run it as a container. So here you can see Hugging Face deep learning container in AWS SageMaker. So the entire LLM model will basically be put in a container. Then you can actually call that particular container over here. So in order to call the container, you will be using from SageMaker.HuggingFace get Hugging Face LLM image URI. And then here is your version that you're specifically using and what kind of image you are actually coming up with. Okay, just to show you, if I probably give you an example, I will go ahead and install all this. Let's see. You'll be able to see the URI. Okay, and then it will probably download it and upload it. So there will be a lot of task in that, and a lot of money will be required, because again, at the end of the day, you are, see over here, you have probably got this. Now let me just execute this again. So here is your SageMaker role ARN. Then you can see that which URI I'm actually calling, right? So if I probably go and see, this is the URI that is basically required, right? Image URL. So if you know about Dockers and containers, so once you get the URI, then you should be able to load the Hugging Face model. Now here also you can probably see, here we are calling Falcon B40B instruct. Number of GPUs, how much you want, and just imagine the instance type that we are going to use is MLG512 into large. I'll just show you the cost, and you will be pretty much shocked to see the cost. So here you can see internal storage GB is 1 into 3800. Total GPU memory is 96. GPU 24 core. Bandwidth, internet bandwidth is 40, and the GPU model is NVIDIA A10H. Right, memory is nothing but 192, CPU cores is nothing but 48. Just imagine how much the charges will be. So that is the reason why I have actually taken a small model and probably shown it to you. Later on, you can probably do with respect to anything once you probably go to the company, right? So that is the reason we have selected all these parameters over here. Then we initialize the Hugging Face model. Then we deploy it. That's it, right? And then after that, you can probably use the same payload. You can structure the payload over here with the prompt, and then you will be able to get the text. Okay. So anyhow, I will be giving you this entire examples in the description of this particular video. But again, yes, I've told that I've been uploading videos on AWS SageMaker and all, but definitely there requires a lot of charges that is involved, but it is always good to have a knowledge about it. That is the reason, that is the main aim for this particular video. So I hope you like this particular video. This was it from my side. Again, you can refer to multiple examples. Here, I will also give you this GitHub link from the documentation of Hugging Face. So there are multiple labs which has been created, which you can also go ahead and refer to. Okay, so this from Arsit companies. So this is an amazing lab details that is provided. I will be providing you this entire code itself. Other than that, you can obviously see the documentation of Hugging Face SageMaker. So yes, this was it from my side. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day ahead. Thank you one and all. Take care. Bye bye. Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, here is an amazing crash course to help you understand that how actually you can perform fine tuning, specifically with respect to LLM models. And again, in this crash course, we will be discussing the theoretical intuition, what exactly fine tuning is, how you can actually perform fine tuning. We'll be learning about concepts such as quantization, LoRa, CLoRa, PEFT, right? And along with that, we will be implementing multiple projects with the help of Hugging Face, open source LLM models like Llama 2. Along with that, we'll also be seeing how you can perform fine tuning with your own custom data set with the help of Google Gamma model. Now, in most of the companies that are probably looking for generative AI roles, usually want this specific skill set of fine tuning, and you should definitely know how you can actually fine tune with your own custom data set and how you can solve different use cases. So this entire crash course will be having a step-by-step process of understanding. It includes both theoretical intuition, practical intuition, and we will be also developing completely end-to-end solutions with respect to this. So I hope you will enjoy this series. Please make sure that you watch this series till the end, and definitely you will be able to learn a lot of things out of it. So yes, best of luck. Let's go ahead and watch this series. In one of our previous video, I'd already shown you how you can actually fine tune Llama 2 model with your own custom data set. And over there, we learned about, or we saw code that were related to something called as quantization, LoRa, CLoRa techniques and all, right? And all these techniques are super important if you also want to train or fine tune your own LLM models with your own custom data set. Now, when I showed the code, right, when I executed that particular code, many people had actually requested to explain the theoretical in-depth intuition about it. And that is what I'm actually going to do. The best thing is that when I learned about this theoretical intuition, and I'm doing it from past 2 to 3 months, it's quite amazing, guys. Now, this is where that machine learning era is probably coming, where I used to upload a lot of theoretical, in-depth geometrical intuitions regarding various machine learning algorithms. Similarly, here also in this series of videos, in this video, we are going to discuss about quantization. Now, what exactly is quantization? We are going to discuss about that. In the upcoming video, we are going to see techniques like LoRa, CLoRa, every maths intuition that is probably involved. And this all are important for the fine-tuning technique, right? If I probably talk about generative AI, one of the most important interview questions will be something related to fine-tuning and what is the techniques that is usually used behind it, right? So what all things we are going to cover in this video? In this video, we are going to talk about quantization. Specifically, when I say quantization, it is all about model quantization, because if you remember in our Llama 2 code, right, when we are doing the fine tuning, here you could see that we had put some parameters, right, regarding precision based modeling. We had spoken about quantization, when we are downloading the models, from a higher bit to a lower bit, why we are specifically doing this, I will be explaining about that, right? So with respect to each and every parameters, definitely I will explain you the theoretical intuition, and later on you just go ahead and see my previous video with respect to all the coding. Now everything will make sense. Okay, so what exactly is quantization? We're going to discuss. We are going to discuss about full precision, half precision, and this is something related to data types, like how the data is stored in the memory. When I specifically say data in LLM models, I will talk about weights and parameters, right? Because at the end of the day, LLMs are also deep learning neural networks in the form of transformers or BERT, right? Then we are going to discuss about what exactly is calibration. This is also called as like calibration in model quantization, right? We are going to also make sure that we are going to see some problems, right? How we can actually do calibration. Then there is different modes of quantization, right? First of all, I will explain you the definition, then only you'll be able to understand. In modes of quantization, we are going to discuss about 2 types. One is post-training quantization and quantization aware training, right? So these all are very important in terms of fine tuning techniques. Now let's go ahead and talk about quantization, and we will try to see the definition, right? Quantization. Okay. Now, if you want to really understand the meaning of quantization, it is better to write a simple definition for it. Okay. So quantization basically means conversion from higher memory format to a lower memory format, right? Now, I've written a very generic definition what exactly quantization mean. It is nothing but conversion from a higher memory format to a lower memory format. Now, when I say higher memory format, let's consider any data, right? And if I probably consider any neural network, okay? So let's say if I have neural network, right? And when we train this neural network, right? All these neural network are interconnected. At the end of the day, what are the parameters that is probably involved over here? It is nothing but weights, right? We specifically have weights. Now, weights are usually in the form of metrics, right? Let's say that I have a 3x3 weight. Okay, I'm just taking as an example. In one of the layer, I have 3x3 weights. And over here, every value, right, is probably stored in the memory in the form of 32 bits, right? 32 bits. We also say this bits as, we also denote it as something like FP32. Now, what exactly is FP32? So FP32 basically means I can also consider it as, see, FP full form is not floating point, okay? But I'm just writing floating point 32 bits, right? When I say FP basically means it is nothing but full precision, right? Full precision or single precision. Okay, so this is the definition that is probably given, right? But in short, this is like a floating point number, okay? So over here, let's say my number is somewhere around 7.23. Now, this number is stored based on 32 bits in the memory, right? Now, understand when you have a very big neural network or you have LLM models, right? As you see different LLM models, right? Parameters keeps on increasing, right? Some may have 70 billion parameters. If I probably consider Llama 2 with 70 billion parameters, that basically means it has 70 billion parameters in terms of weights and bias. Okay. Now it is not possible for me to, let's say I want to use this particular model and I want to probably do some fine tuning with respect to the normal GPU that I have, right? And let's say I have a very limited RAM in my system. Let's say the RAM I have is somewhere around 32 GB, right? I cannot directly download the specific model and put it in my RAM itself, right? Let's say, or load it in my VRAM that is available in the GPU, because GPU also has some limited RAM, right? And it is not possible. You cannot directly download it. Obviously, it will require huge space. The other way is that, yes, I can probably take a cloud space somewhere. Let's say in AWS, I can create my instance. I can say, hey, give me this much RAM, 64 GB RAM, and I probably want this much GPU, and then I will try to load the model over there. That you can do it. But over there, what is basically happening? Lot of cost is involved, right? Based on the resources. The cost is involved, right? So in this scenario, and why this 70 billion parameter is happening? Why this model has a 70 billion parameter? Because every weights or every bias that is available in this, this may be getting stored in 32 bits. So what we can specifically do is that we can convert this 32 bits into, as I said over here, see, conversion from a higher memory format to a lower memory format. Let's say I can probably convert this 32 bit into int 8 and then download the model or then use the model, right? After doing this, what will happen? Within my system, I will be able to inference it, right? Obviously, for fine tuning, if I want to fine tune it with a new data set, I will obviously require GPU. But if I consider with respect to inferencing, it becomes quite easy, because now all my values that are stored in the form of 32 bits, it will be stored in the form of 8 bits. So what we are specifically doing over here, we are converting from a high memory format to a low memory format, and this is what is called as quantization. A very important thing. Now, why quantization is important? Because you will be able to inference it quickly. See, inferencing basically means what? If I have an LLM model, if I give any input to that, I should be able to get any output, right? I should be able to get response, right? Now, when I give any input, all the calculation with respect to different weights will happen, right? And obviously, if I have a bigger GPU, this inferencing will quickly happen, right? But if I have a GPU with less cores, let's say, then what will happen? This calculation will take time. But if I convert my 32-bit to 8 bits, right? Every weights are basically converted into 8 bits. Now, just imagine the calculation. Will there be a difference? Yes, it will happen a little bit much more quicker. So quantization is very much important for inferencing. And some of the examples that I again probably talk about is that, and obviously you may have heard about this. It's not like only in LLM models we specifically do, right? In different computer vision models, in NLP models also, where you think that there is a lot of weights that is involved, and all these weights, if I want to quantize it, right, I can actually do it, right? Now this inferencing, let's say I want to use a specific deep learning model in my mobile phone. So in my mobile phone, if I want to use it, right, in a specific